6,000 people. And those numbers came up less than 24 hours after the White House found itself answering questions about why the president's Jobs Council has not met in more than 6 months.
There's no specific reason, except the president's obviously got a lot on his plate, but he continues to solicit and receive advice from numerous folks outside the administration about the economy, about ideas that he can act on with Congress or administratively to help the economy grow and help it create jobs.
Joining me now, Simon Rosenberg, president and founder of the New Democrat Network, and he's a former Clinton campaign advisor, and Mark Thiessen, who's a fellow with the American Enterprise Institute and a former George W. Bush speechwriter. All right, guys. So Jay Carney came out and said, well, he's got a lot on his plate. Simon, you point out that 90% of the recommendations that the Jobs Council has already made to the president have, I guess, been implemented. Is that the stat?
Yeah, there's a new report out last week that showed that, let's just remember what the Jobs Council was, right? Lots of CEOs and other leading officials. They met 4 times. They made a big report at the beginning of the year, 60 recommendations for the administration to follow. 54 of those recommendations have either been implemented or significant progress has been made. So I think it's done its job. There are 6 more meetings scheduled over the next 18 months. But for this year, they wanted to get the recommendations out early in the year to affect the congressional process. The administration's been responsive to their actions and has made, and I think we should be satisfied with the contribution the Jobs Council has made.
Here's my question to you then, Mark. If the Jobs Council has already made 60 recommendations and 54 have been implemented, whatever the number is, why didn't Jay Carney just say that? Why is he talking about the president's busy schedule and how much he has on his plate? And it's sort of like, the Jobs Council already gave us its report, and we implemented many of their recommendations, most of them. So get your facts straight, reporters.
Probably because they didn't recommend a bunch of them, and the president just went out and attacked several of them. I mean, look, the Business Council was created. President Obama has gone on 10 golf outings and 100 fundraisers during the past 6 months, but he hasn't met with the Business Council once, and there's none scheduled. And part of the reason is I think that he's been out there demonizing them. Last week in Cincinnati, the president went out and attacked Mitt Romney's plan to overhaul the corporate tax system, including his plan to go to a territorial tax system in which the foreign income of American businesses would be exempted if they repatriated here back in the United States or when they repatriated. And Obama said that was a plan put together by somebody who wants to ship American jobs overseas. Well, you know who endorsed that plan? Barack Obama's Jobs Council. They declared in their report, which was released just around, by the way, coincidentally, the same time that Obama had his last meeting with them, they declared that Romney's approach would actually increase our global competitiveness, and they said that Obama's approach, quote, actually encourages U.S. companies to keep their earnings abroad rather than investing them here at home. So, I suspect that the Jobs Council probably doesn't like being accused of trying to kill American jobs. They probably don't like being accused of corporate greed. And the fact is, many of these Business Council members haven't endorsed Obama. A number of them who had endorsed him in the past are not endorsing him this year. Penny Pritzker, there was a big story in the New York Times about how she was his finance chairman last year, and she is sitting this campaign out because of Obama's attacks on business.
The Pritzker's own Hyatt. Simon, is that possible that that it's I'm taking my marbles and going home, not meeting with you. You don't like me, I don't like you either, kind of thing.
No, and I think that Jay Carney did flub that response yesterday, Megyn.
Your response was much better.
Well, I had 24 hours to do my homework.
Simon, press secretary.
I think Jay's got a lot on his plate. Let's just say that. He's dealing with a lot of issues. But look, I just think this basic argument that Obama's been hostile to business is just silly, right? Look where the stock market is near all-time highs. Corporate profits are near all-time highs, right? There's been the corporate sector of the United States, and this is where I agree with President Obama said a few weeks ago, is doing pretty well, right? What's happened is there hasn't been as much job creation. But the idea that there is sort of, and by the way, which was also true during the Bush era, right? We had strong GDP growth and productivity growth under Bush, but jobs are not being created at a faster rate. Both of the presidents we've had, the last 2 presidents, have suffered from similar economic conditions. And so the argument that somehow what Barack's been doing has put businesses out of business or he's been hostile to business, it's silly. Every small business owner in America has gotten a tax cut under President Obama. Every single one of them. And so I think this meta argument underneath this is just just silly, and we got to move on to have a real debate about what we need to do to fix the economy.
The meta argument. Mark?
Yeah. Sorry, Megyn.
Well, you know what? If everything was as great as Simon said, then why do 55% of the American people disapprove of Obama's handling of the economy? 64%, according to the New York Times CBS poll, blame his policies for making the economy worse. And the fact is, yeah, you say he gave a tax cut to small businesses. He has just proposed to increase the taxes of 90% of the businesses in this country by letting the top rates expire. So I think he needs to go around and spend a little more time listening to business executives
the
instead
Republicans
of
have to stop
demonizing
using.
them on the
You
campaign
guys have to
trail.
stop using that statistic. Only 3% of business owners will get a tax increase under President Obama's proposal. It's a ridiculous reading of economic data.
Mark,
Come on, you know better than that, Mark. Come on, you know better.
Individual rate goes up, you pay more.
Mark,
That's
come
just
on.
And on that note,
Simon.
we have to agree to disagree. But a good debate as
Okay.
always, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay.